We heard two versions there of the same text. In the book of Hebrews, we heard almost exactly what we heard in the Psalm. Oh, that today you would listen to his voice, harden not your hearts, as on that day at Meribah in the desert, the Massa, when your fathers put me to the test. And it goes on. And they're actually, Hebrews and the Psalms are referring to two different occasions, but the same thing is happening in each case. It's to do with rebellion. In the Psalm, Massa and Meribah, the people, after they're freed from Egypt, are looking for, they're thirsty, they need water. And so they complain to Moses, we need water. Oh, why did you take us out of Egypt? We want to go back to Egypt where we had water, where we had this, that, and the other. And it's a rebellion against God. You brought us out and we actually don't want to be here anymore. We want to go back into slavery. And in the Hebrews text, it's another rebellion when the people have marched through the desert. They've made it to the other side and they've been to Canaan, and Moses has sent people out to reconnoiter, to have a look at the land of Canaan, the land of milk and honey, which they're about to enter into. And when the report comes back, the people say, we don't want to go in there. We're afraid. Better that we would died in Egypt than come out here to die in this desert, to die in the land of Canaan. The report they've heard is that it's a difficult place to enter in. And so in each occasion, the Lord is saying that they've had, not the Lord is saying, but they've seen the mighty works of God showing his power, that he leads them, that he's the one who frees them, he's the one that brings them life and looks after them. They've seen all this, and yet when it comes to the crunch, they lose faith in him. They forget, as it were, everything that they've seen, everything that's happened to them, and they want to return to slavery and bondage. It's in this text, we're listening to this today because the writer to the Hebrews, as we've mentioned already, is writing to a group of Jewish converts, perhaps priests, who have experienced conversion. They've experienced the power of the Holy Spirit. They've experienced the redemption brought about by Christ. And now they're having doubts. Do they want to continue the journey to the promised land? And the writer of the Hebrews is trying to encourage them. As long as this today lasts, today, encourage one another. That's the message. We might be afraid. We might be shaken by the experiences we're going through. We might be going through some difficulties, but do not give up. It's not to say that you won't continue to go through difficulties and hardships. Those will happen. But our responsibility, and what the book of Hebrews is encouraging us to do, is to encourage each other today. Today, encourage someone. Encourage somebody who's going through difficulty. Encourage somebody whose faith is shaking. And it's not just encouraging and saying, it'll be all right, and patting them on the back. That's not kind of the encouragement we need. The encouragement that the writer to the Hebrews is speaking about is encouraging people to remain firm on the road, on the path that the Lord is leading us down, to remain faithful to him, to hold fast to him, not to give up on moving forward, not to allow fear and the consequences of following him cause them to abandon the journey. And somebody in the gospel, somebody has maybe been encouraging the leper who perhaps has heard of the miracles that Jesus has worked, but knows that he's not allowed to approach. He has to stay away from the promised land. Jesus, who is the promised land. He, by law, he has to stay away. But somehow he has been encouraged, either through somebody else or something internally, the Spirit of God perhaps, encouraging him to draw forward towards salvation, draw towards the fountain of living water. And as he moves forward, he is emboldened, encouraged to make that plea to Jesus. If you want to, you can heal me. And of course, the Lord wants to. And he is healed. He enters into that state of blessedness, being healed of his affliction. And entering into the promised land, that is where we are healed of our mortal affliction. So the message today, encourage one another. Be a Bartholomew, a son of encouragement. And today, encourage those you know who are around you, who are faltering, that they may hold fast and continue the journey into the promised land.